Chandler might be my favorite fighter. I really enjoy watching him. I enjoy listening to him. I find him to be a fascinating and a good person. Conor McGregor, to your point, RC, Red Panty Night is still very real. That is the top box office draw in our sport. But how convinced am I that these guys are actually going to fight? Look, they're not licensed, I can tell you that. That piece of paperwork is very relevant. They haven't completed the drug testing pool, I can tell you that. Those 6 months are very relevant. They do not have signed bout agreements. So as of right now, I'm not confident that that fight is taking place on June 29th.
I tap out because even in the mixed martial arts fight, RC, we kind of had the idea that Masvidal would be the better striker, and Nate was the better ground guy. Nate was the better wrestler, the better grappler, and Masvidal dominated that. So now you're telling me you're going to now limit Nate Diaz to fighting George in the only area that we felt he held the advantage going into fight one. Yeah, I don't anticipate it going very well for my boy Nate Diaz. So, yeah, I'm going to tap out on that one. I'm tapping out.
Is it accurate to say Jeff Neal, Colby, and Sean? Is that the order in a perfect world for you?
There is a yes. Yes, there is a very specific reason I would like those people. Jeff is a very good body for me to go off and showcase to the world just how elite I am and how good I am at what I do. Colby has also talked a lot of shit about me. He's talked about me. He's mentioned my wife. He obviously lost the fight against Colby. Colby is someone who wants those big fights, someone who's going to chat, someone who's going to entertain the fans, someone who's going to bring a lot of hype to the event. I am going to box the ears off Colby Covington for some of the stuff he said. And there isn't going to be anybody in that world or in this octagon who's going to be able to save him. I promise you now, I'll finish him. And I'll do it in 3 rounds. I don't need 5 rounds to finish him. I'll do it in 2. I'll do it in 1. Colby Covington's going to be slapped. And I hope I hit him so hard that he's never able to speak again. And I feel like a lot of people on this planet would be very happy that he never gets to speak on a mic again. So that's what I'd like with Colby.
I win this fight, I'm fighting Fury, period.
Whether or not he has the belt.
You know, whether or not he has the belt. The thing with the title, and this is a run that a system that I don't want to fall into anymore. Is like, okay, when you start a run, then you're gonna make concession with maybe a organization or a title organization. You have to fit into something, and I would just want to be free and fight. I don't want to own anything to anybody or to respond to anybody, right? So I don't want that political stuff like with the title and this. Obviously, if the title is on the line and no string attached, yes, of course, I'll grab it. It's good for the decoration.
My initial thought with Francis Anthony Joshua is this: the cat's out of the bag. By the time Fury found that out, he did win a lot of later rounds, right? That's why people gave him the fight. You know, he got dropped on his ass, and then he was like, oh, I didn't get my shit together here, and started performing a little better. Still didn't look great, but it was able to pull it off technically. You're not going to surprise Anthony Joshua now. Now Anthony Joshua has the advantage going, that's what he looks like? Got it. I need to take this guy serious or he will, beat me. Got it. So this is a much, much tougher fight for Francis Ngannou than Tyson Fury. Can he do it? Absolutely. Why can he do it? Because Anthony Joshua gets hit. And when you're playing the game with Francis Ngannou, who's the hardest hitter this side of the Congo, all it takes is one freaking hit. Ask Tyson Fury. He got dropped on his ass, and that was even a great shot. And this is good if you're a Francis fan. But again, cat's out of the bag. It's going to be a much tougher fight for Francis. I'll say that.
So I saw a video this morning of a politician. He was complaining about all these millions and millions of immigrants coming over the borders, and you know what he kept saying? I know he's a politician because he's in a suit and tie and he's in some type of courtroom complaining to other politicians. And what he says is, he's just yelling at them. He says, these are going to rig an election. These people they're going to use them to vote against us. They're going to use them to vote against us. All these immigrants coming over here, they're going to vote Democrat. And that's what's going to happen. That's how this country's going to fall. Well, buddy, I'm here to tell you, that would be nice if that's all that those immigrants were going to do. That'd be great. You're living in a fairy tale, buddy. They've already rigged an election. It has nothing to do with immigrants. They just rigged the electronic systems if they want to rig an election like they've done the last 20 years, okay? Let me tell you, that is an army amassing. That is not to rig an election. That can be done easily with electronics. They're bringing millions of people over here to form an army. All right, buddy. That's what's going on. I don't give a damn if anybody thinks I'm right or wrong. I'm just telling you, my common sense tells me when all these young men fighting age come over here, I'm just telling you, stock up on your firewood, your canned goods, your ammunition, get close with your neighbors. I pray to
So, first training after surgery, my physiotherapist allowed me to do this, so I missed that, and we're doing running, but anyway, soon, second surgery for second shoulder, but anyway, I cannot sit on the couch and watching movies or do nothing. So all best for you.
All right, everybody, on August 13th, 2019, history was made when Weili Zhang beat Jessica Andrade to become the first Chinese champion in UFC history. Well, guess what? 5 years later, we will see history being made again as Weili Zhang faces #1 contender Yan Jinan for the UFC strawweight title on UFC 300. And this is the first time two Chinese contenders have faced off for a world title. Why is this such a badass fight? Let me tell you why. Weili Zhang has 19 finishes and 24 wins. That's an 80% finish rate. She is tied for second most title wins in strawweight history, and she was involved in arguably one of the greatest fights ever versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Her last fight was the most dominant statistical win ever in UFC women's history against Amanda Lemos. She outstruck her 288-21 in that fight. She landed the most strikes on the ground by a UFC strawweight ever. Now, Yan is the first Chinese female ever signed to the UFC. She's got the most head strikes landed in a single UFC strawweight fight ever. And she is coming off a first-round knockout against Jessica Andrade in under 3 minutes, which, by the way, she was a 2-1 underdog in that fight, and she has 8 first-round knockouts. This fight has badass written all over it. So, there's one of the title fights for UFC 300. I will have at least 2 or more for you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening, everyone. And then tomorrow, I'll announce at least 2 more fights for UFC 300. All right? And then I'll have 2 more fights tomorrow. We literally just finished matchmaking right now. Now, for all you lunatics that were terrorizing me yesterday, give me 20 minutes. 20 minutes, I'm going to announce I'm actually going to announce a title fight for UFC 300. I'm going to announce one today, and then I'll have 2 more fights tomorrow. We literally just finished matchmaking right now. In less than an hour, I will announce one of the title fights.
1 hour later.
Weili Zhang faces #1 contender Yan Jinan for the UFC strawweight title on UFC 300, and this is the first time 2 Chinese contenders have faced off for a world title. Why is this such a badass fight? Let me tell you why. Weili Zhang has 19 finishes and 24 wins. That's an 80% finish rate. She is tied for